The number one prospect in baseball, Konnor Griffin, has been called up. Expectations are high. And what is the potential fantasy baseball impact? Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. I'm Dominick Martino, riding solo, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the number one sports podcast network. Thank you to our everydayers and new listeners for making us your first listen each and every day. I am a longtime fantasy baseball analyst, and I have over 20 years of fantasy baseball knowledge, and I do this podcast to share it with you. Wherever you watch and or listen, please be sure to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. We truly appreciate it, and it helps the podcast grow. And no need to hide the spotlight here or anything. Konnor Griffin is here. The Pirates have called him up. He is the number one prospect in all of baseball. Pause the podcast to make sure he is not owned in your fantasy leagues, and then come right back because we are talking expectations and more. And what's the fantasy baseball impact here? The Pirates signed him, gave him a 9-year, $140 million deal. That's what's being reported on the table so far. I don't know if that's going to be the final numbers and everything, but that's what we're seeing right now. It should be worth it. Griffin's a potential 5-tool guy. He's 6'3", 222. The Pirates have done really good things with prospects over the years, have traded most of them, but nonetheless, they have done a good job in development. Dominated AAA this year, and then dominated A-ball, high A, and AA last year. So far through 5 games, Griffin had 3 doubles, 7 hits, an RBI, 3 steals, 5 walks to 4 strikeouts, and he's batting .438. And then the Pirates said, "But we've seen enough. Get up here to the bigs and do some of that hitting up here for us." And then last year in the minors was 122 games for Griffin, 484 at-bats, 117 runs. That crazy. 23 doubles, 4 triples, 21 homers, 94 RBIs, 65 steals. He had 50 walks, 222 strikeouts. He had .333. Now, Griffin did not have a great spring training. The walk to strikeouts was an issue in spring training with 2 walks to 13 strikeouts. He did only hit 171 over that time. In spring training, it was 16 games. But I think there's a world where they say, hey, we kind of just want you to develop against big league pitching. And that's what we're going to see here. He's 20 years old. What's the ownership percentage? I think the ownership percentage on Yahoo was 81% for Konnor Griffin. That means that there's a few leagues he's out there. Even if you're in the shallowest of leagues, you play in a 4-man league, I want you to pick up Konnor Griffin just to see what happens. So that's everywhere. He has shortstop and outfield eligibility on Yahoo, which is going to be amazing. That outfield eligibility is going to be great. Along with that sneaky, hey, I can throw him in a shortstop if I need him to play that position. But I think with shortstop's pretty deep this year. I don't think necessarily most of us are going to be playing him there unless we're in shallower formats. But yeah, Konnor Griffin, number one prospect in baseball, 5'tool guy, man. We could even talk about the tools here for Konnor Griffin. 65 grade. We're talking about the 20 to 80 grade prospect scale here. 60 grade hit tool, and this is according to MLB.com. 65 grade power, 70 grade run, 70 grade arm, 60 fielding grade, and overall is a 70 grade prospect. He was taken in the first round back in 2024 with the 9th pick by the Pirates. He's just going to be real good, man. I think the speed, I know the speed's legit. I think there's easy 20 home run power with the room for it to grow to 35 plus easily. I hate to do this to the kid. The early comp for me is a young Mike Trout. With the power being really good, the speed being really good. I just don't think that there's anything not to like when it comes to Konnor Griffin. like I said, the one knock I'm going to give him is a little bit of plate discipline issue, but yeah, 20 years old, in the bigs, your first taste of it, sure, you might have some plate discipline issues, but it's not like an overwhelming issue, at least not yet anyway, because he went to AAA and just looked really good there with the 5 walks to 4 strikeouts. But I digress. We're going to get back to the Konnor Griffin talk here in a second, so bear with me. And all right, guys, listen, just want to talk about my friends real quick over at Robinhood, right? Because what if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood's going to be there. Their prediction markets change the game. It's people moving the action. So when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator play by play. You decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. And then hiring isn't just about finding someone willing to take the job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who can actually help your business move forward. And if you want candidates who match what you're looking for, Indeed sponsored jobs is the move. Because instead of hoping the right person stumbles across your post, Indeed helps you match with quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria, like skills, certifications, and location. If I were hiring, I wouldn't just want someone who could help. I'd want someone with real experience who could jump right in. That's what I like about Indeed. You can get real specific and target exactly what you need. It saves time because you're spending less energy sorting through mismatches, right? And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed. According to Indeed data worldwide, that's just numbers. That's just the facts. If you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you get the job premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. And all right, guys, some final thoughts here on my guy Konnor Griffin. Let's do a quick expectation, or numbers prediction on my end. I kind of want to see where they have where roster resources slotting him in the lineup before I give out this expectation. 6th. All right, so he's projected to hit 6th. The lineup right now for the Pirates looks like this: Oneil Cruz, Brandon Lau, Bryan Reynolds, Marcell Ozuna, Ryan O'Hearn, then Konnor Griffin. Could he? I'm not even sure how Marcell. I know Cruz has had a 2-homer game the other day. Lau's been hitting well, and Bryan Reynolds has been a staple over there in Pittsburgh for a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no Marcell Ozuna shares this year. I don't know how he's doing. I don't know how Ryan O'Hearn's doing. I think there's a world where he could supplant both of them. I think there's a world where he could even hit 2nd or 3rd in this lineup, maybe even lead off. If Konnor Griffin does get to that point where he's a top 3 or 4 bat in this lineup and he sees 130, 140 games in the bigs this year, it is 85 runs, 22 bombs, 85 RBIs, 34 steals, 279 batting average. Crazy to say for the number 1 prospect in baseball in his rookie year? No, I don't think so. So that's, I want to say like the 50th percentile outcome, kind of like the mid, tier, maybe higher than that. Maybe like the 70th percentile outcome for Konnor Griffin, because there's a world where it goes a lot worse than that. So I don't want to get too bullish on him. But yeah, I think there's a pretty safe floor, and there's a really, 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 really high ceiling here with Konnor Griffin. Need to pick him up now. Like I said, if he's available in your league, and I'll even say this: see what the offers are like now. See if you really want this guy on your team who could be arguably one of the best players in baseball. Feel out the trade market. I don't think anyone's selling. I'm gonna be honest. I just really don't think anyone's selling. But it never hurt. This time of year never hurts to shoot out trade offers. This is the time of year, I think is the best time to take advantage of people in trades. And honestly, there's a world where the value doesn't get higher on Konnor Griffin than it is now, but there's also a world where this value takes off from here. So that's my thoughts on Konnor Griffin, number one prospect in baseball. We're going to leave it there. So once again, that's all for today. I just want to say thank you for tuning in and today and making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen of the day. Shout out to everyday's new listeners. Make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On Fantasy Baseball. We're going to get back to regular programming next week. So, it's fun as always this time of year. For those of you on video, we send you over to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel on the audio side of things. Make sure you second listen to Locked On MLB. But guys, until next time, swell.